Welcome to this week's special segment. This week, our special segment, or I guess this month, I guess I've said that every single week. This month's special segment is Matchup Madness.
Yes, so in this segment, Debbie will be introducing a player, and then that player will be put up against other players, and Kadin and I will have to decide whether we want the player that Debbie said or the opponent. We'll be matching that player up with a couple of different guys and see how they stack up.
So without further ado, let's bring in Debbie, who has this week's... I can't believe that set every time. You look like a pro back there.
We are a pro podcast. All right. This Matchup Madness segment, we are going to be matching up Amari Cooper against, 5 other receivers. Yeah. So the first receiver we'll be putting up against recently injured Rashee Rice. What do you boys think?
Austin, you want to go ahead and go first on this one? I'll take the next one.
Sure. So obviously we are matching up Amari Cooper with these guys because he is on the trade block. He has expressed interest in getting out of Cleveland, and Cleveland understands that he is old, and there is a lot of money tied up with him. So it's really a toss-up here. So between Amari Cooper and Rashee Rice, who would I rather have on my team? Well, for me, it depends a lot on what my goals are for the team. And I think that that's going to be a common theme with all of these guys. Is if I'm building for the future, I probably want Rashee Rice. If I want to win today, probably going to go Amari Cooper. Overall, though, I think Rashee Rice is a really, really great wide receiver. I have really high aspirations for him in the future. So out of those two, I really do think I would go with Rashee Rice.
I agree. I would also go Rashee Rice. I think for a lot of these, we kind of just have to put it for this season, especially. I mean, obviously, barring injury, because Rashee Rice is probably out for the season. But a lot of these guys, I would assume. I mean, we obviously picked the players on there, but I'm trying to remember back. I honestly don't remember what players we put. But Amari Cooper, I would imagine, is older than a lot of them. So if you're basing for the future, you're going to pick the younger guys. So for all of these, I would say we would just assume for this season. But even for this season, I would say Rashee Rice. I think he took a very great second year leap from what we see in the first 3 weeks this season. It's a bummer we're not going to be able to see it the rest of the year, but he's a very good receiver. He's very reliable, and he was a number 1 for the best quarterback in the NFL. So what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Awesome. Next up, we have T. Higgins.
That's a good one. I mean, T. Higgins is kind of under Jamar Chase's spotlight. I mean, a lot of talk this offseason about him wanting to leave, him wanting to go be a number 1 somewhere else, which I mean is fair. He has a very good skill set and could very well be a 1 somewhere. This one, I think, is a lot harder than the Rashee Rice one. I'm still going to lean T. Higgins on this. I think that once he leaves Cincinnati, which I think is inevitable next season, I think he's going to be a very good wide receiver 1 wherever he goes. And I think he has speed. I think he has very good jump ball ability. And where he is this season, honestly, as a wide receiver 2, it's unfair for defenses that their number 2 corner has to guard T. Higgins. So,
yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said about T. Higgins. It's just the fact that we haven't seen him as a number 1 guy. It's very notable that it's unfair that the other team's second corner has to guard him. But would he have the same productivity if the team's number 1 corner was guarding him, like Amari Cooper had to deal with? And Amari Cooper had that sort of situation where he was the number 2 guy in Dallas, and then he's obviously the number 1 guy in Cleveland now. So I'm going to go with Amari Cooper over T. Higgins on this one. Obviously, that could change based on how T. Higgins performs once he leaves Cincinnati. For the time being, I go Amari Cooper.
All right. Next up, we have Jalen Waddle, projected to make 9.73 points in fantasy next week. What do you guys think?
A little side nugget there from Debbie.
That sounds like Debbie has Jalen.
I was gonna say the same
He's
thing.
unhappy with his performance recently. All right, so for this one, oh, man, this one's tough. And in my heart, I do want to say Jalen Waddle, but given the fact that I went Amari Cooper over T. Higgins in the last one, I feel like logically I have to stick with Amari Cooper on this one because I think the same types of reasons apply for why I would go Amari Cooper over T. Higgins for Jalen Waddle. So I'm going to go Amari Cooper over Jalen Waddle here.
I'm also going to go Amari Cooper. I think with Jalen Waddle, you have a lot of injury concerns year in and year out. He's constantly not able to finish games. He'll play for a little bit and then leave. I mean, kind of with T. Higgins, we haven't seen him as a wide receiver one, really. Did he have a season without Tyreek Hill? I think he did have one. I think his rookie year. But I just think Amari Cooper is a good wide receiver one. He's had some struggles this year with drops, but he's a very solid wide receiver one. He can stretch the field. He can take short plays and take it the distance. I mean, he's a reliable receiver. I'm going to take him over Jalen Waddle here. I think Jalen Waddle is a lot of production is the defenses are focused so much on Tyreek Hill that they have less to focus on Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. All right, Debbie, who's our next one?
All right, and second to last, we have DJ Moore.
Ooh. You can take
this one's very interesting. Obviously, DJ Moore played for Panthers for a while, didn't get much recognition, had a lot of production for what he was dealing with in Carolina. Goes to Chicago, great year last year with Justin Fields. Now he's with Caleb Williams, and they're having a down season. And honestly, if you watch the Bears, he looks dead on the sideline. Even after scoring a touchdown, he's just like, puts his hands in the air, gives Caleb Williams a hug. Like, he does not look happy. He looks like dead. It's really sad to see. And I truly think DJ Moore I'm picking DJ Moore here. I think he has potential to be an elite receiver. We have not seen him with a good quarterback. Justin Fields is the best quarterback. He played with towards the end of his career, Cam Newton for a little bit, and that was a very good rookie season. DJ Moore, like he was great early in his career, and he's still great now. He just doesn't have that guy to get him the ball. I think if you give them both the same quarterback, I think DJ Moore is. Definitely DJ Moore.
I'm going Amari Cooper on this one. I think DJ Moore might have the potential to be that guy, to be better than Amari Cooper. But it's really been, and it's definitely not his fault. Like, obviously you have to have a quarterback that gets you the ball. You have to have a scheme that gets you the ball. But he just hasn't shown the productivity that I've seen out of Amari Cooper. So I'm going to go Amari Cooper on this one.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
All right. And last up, we have Deontay Johnson, who, this may or may not be true. There's a report that him and his agent spoke with the Chiefs regarding a possible trade to bring him to Kansas City, per the NFL Network. So we'll see if that happens. But what do you guys think about Deontay Johnson?
I really hope that doesn't happen. I'll just say that. But this one's interesting. You can go ahead and take this one first. I had the last one.
All right. For this one, I am still going to stick with Amari Cooper. That might be a little bit of just home team bias, but I'm going to stick with him on all counts other than the Rashee Rice.
I mean, yeah, it might be a little home team bias for me as well. I'm going Johnson here. I think he is such a phenomenal route runner. I mean, maybe it's just something I'm not used to because last season the Panthers receivers got negative yards of separation. I think the DBs were like on the receivers' backs, and the receivers were just giving them piggyback rides. And then when Bryce would throw the ball, they would just get off their back and be like, "Oh, you didn't get any separation, interception." So Deontay Johnson, I mean, he is one of the better separators in the NFL, but especially coming to a team like Carolina that is completely new to that offense, and it's really crazy to watch. And I really hope Johnson doesn't leave. I hope he can reach an extension with the Panthers, but in all honesty, I don't think he stays. I don't think he's very thrilled being in a losing organization, which how can you blame him? So I'm going to go Johnson here. I think he is better, but Cooper is a good receiver. I know I didn't pick him much, but Cooper's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap up the episode for us this week. Thank you guys so much for watching our recap, our pick'ems, and then our matchup madness. We will see you guys next week for a recap of week 5.